Hey everyone, Parallel here. Welcome back to Star Trek Online. The Kobayashi Maru weekend event has returned, and it has a new reward this time. So what I'd like to do in this video is take a look at this new reward and do a run of the event as well, just for fun. The event has not changed this time around. It's pretty much the same, and I've done videos on this event in the past. But nothing wrong with doing a refresher. In case anyone is unfamiliar with the event, I can give a couple of tips to help keep the Kobayashi Maru alive, because it is a very suicidal ship in this event. So now there was actually one other thing in the patch this week that was a little bit of a surprise. They actually did a small revamp of the Gorn Minefield queue. This is a really old PvE queue. And they've revamped it now to be the Romulan Imperial Minefield. So now it's actually a cross-faction queue, and you'll be fighting Romulans now instead of Gorn. So that's pretty cool. So we'll take a look at that new queue, see what has changed. But that'll be towards the end of the video if you'd like to stick around. First, we will, of course, take a look at the Kobayashi Maru. So there is a new reward this time around. Let's take a look at that real quick. And just for anyone who was wondering, let me pull up the event information before we get into it here. But as a weekend event, the Kobayashi Maru is running from April 26th through the 30th. By the time this video goes live, hopefully you will have already started running this event. There will just be barely enough time to complete it if you just start when this event goes up, or sorry, when this video goes live. So you do want to complete this event 3 times, once per day with a 20-hour cooldown. You want to complete this 3 times to get your 3 weekend event vouchers. Yep, and it is limited to level 50 to 60 characters. I would say if you are, if you had recently created a Delta recruit, if you've made it to level 50, it's a perfect time to be running this event. Or you can run this event on your other characters as well and then reclaim the reward, because once you unlock the rewards from the weekend store, they are unlocked account-wide, which is very, very nice. And there are some pretty good rewards from the weekend event store, so that's a very good thing. So that is the event. Now, each time you complete the event, with each day that you complete the event, you do get a weekend event voucher. And you can double-click on that voucher to bring up the weekend event store. You can actually also bring it up from your reputation event tab and go to the store that way. So the new item you can get this time around is this right here, the Console Universal Prolonged Engagement Power Dynamo. So this console is actually a set with the previous reward from that was the Prolonged Engagement Phaser Beam Array, or the cannons. So these rewards came out a while ago, and now there's actually a console to create a 2-piece set along with it. That's actually a pretty cool idea. I really like that they now have a set that is available. So let's take a look at the stats here on this console. So it is a Epic Universal console, so you can put it in any slot. And what it does, so every 5 seconds in combat, you gain 1 stack of Power Dynamo. Or so +1 all power levels, +10 maximum. So kind of think of like Plasmatic Leech here. It gives you power to all your subsystems for depending on how long you are in combat. It also has a clicky, which is the Prolonged Engagement Power Proliferation. And this gives, basically what this does is it consumes your stacks of the Power Dynamo that you've been stacking up, and then it will grant you maximum and current power levels for 20 seconds. And it doubled the amount that you got from the power. So basically double the stacks you got. So if you had it full stacks up to 10, then when you use the clicky, it would give you 20 power and 20 max power to all of your subsystems for 20 seconds, and has a 2-minute recharge. It's not too bad. It's looking it over here, it looks like it could be a decent replacement for Plasmatic Leech. In particular, if you are running the weapon, the Prolonged Engagement weapon, to complete the set. In fact, I've actually already unlocked it here, and so I've slotted it on my ship. So let's take a look at it here. Here it is, and let's get the details, and I will take a look at the set bonus. So if you've equipped this with the set bonus, it will be giving you a 7.5% recharge time on all bridge officer abilities. So pretty decent little set bonus. If you are looking for, recharge time on your bridge officer abilities, if you're not running like an Aux to Bat build or something, this could be quite helpful. I'm trying to think here. I think the only sort of downside I can see here to this console is that it takes so you only get one stack every 5 seconds in combat, and it stacks up to 10. So that means you have to be in combat for 50 seconds, almost a whole minute of combat before you get that full benefit. Plasmatic Leech will stack up much faster than that. So that's kind of the downfall I see here. That's kind of crazy, actually, because if you go in and out of combat, if you go out of combat, you're going to lose all the stacks. So that's just such a long time. I'd like to see... It'd be nice if Cryptic would, maybe buff this a little bit, make it like maybe every 2 or 3 seconds in combat you get a new stack. That would, I think, help a lot, make this console a lot more valuable. But right now, you just have to be in combat for so long to get the full benefit. Kind of a downside there. But these 2-piece bonuses on all the time, so it's going to get a passive recharge bonus. That's pretty cool. And then you get the with a clicky as well, which is the clicky is basically like an override subsystem safeties. It's basically increases your max power and current power, so that's pretty nice. That will actually increase your weapon damage output during those 20 seconds based on how much you increase the max power, so that's good. So it's all in all decent enough console. If you need power or bridge officer cooldowns, I would say run with the set. You can see I am running the set here. I do have the prolonged engagement phaser, and this is my sort of phaser build. This is my old Delta Recruit character, and they are actually flying the Venerable now Fleet Battlecruiser Tier 6, so basically a Tier 6 Avenger. Still love flying this ship. It's still a great ship, maybe a little bit overshadowed by the Vengeance now, but it is much more maneuverable than the Vengeance, so I do still like this ship a lot. So that is, you can kind of see the build I'm using here. I'm not going to go into full detail, but it's your basic phaser build. I'm running the prolonged set. I've got a quantum phase torpedo on there, just standard phasers. I'm also running the 2-piece for the trilithium enhanced set here. And one piece I do want to talk about that I am running for this particular event is the Protomatter field projector. This is from the science ship for the that was a long time ago. That was the summer event ship from, yeah, which summer? That was a while ago. That was way back. Yeah, I believe, was this a summer event or a winter event? Or no, this was actually an anniversary event, I believe, ship. Okay, so yeah, the Lucari science vessel. So if you've gotten the Lucari science vessel, you actually get, you have access to this console, which is very helpful for this particular event. So if you've run this event, you'll probably be aware that the Kobayashi Maru in this event is not just a disabled ship that sits there. It's actually is mobile and will fly around during the event, and it is actually quite suicidal. It will fly right into the enemies, get aggro, and die very easily. That is a problem. And he's also very difficult to heal as well. All of the normal healing abilities, like your bridge officer abilities, don't heal him for very much at all. However, this console, the clicky from this console, which is that point-blank AoE that hugely increases your shield and hull regen by a percentage, it will also apply to the Kobayashi Maru and heal it quite a bit, almost a full. So if you would like to make it farther in the event, go through as many waves as possible, I'd highly recommend running this console. In fact, if you were like in a pre-made group, you would want every person in the group to have this console, and you can sort of rotate around and have each person activate this console to heal up the Kobayashi Maru between waves and keep it topped off, because it does die very, very quickly. This event is quite difficult to get past, even like in the upper between wave 5 and 10, it starts getting very, very difficult. I've never actually made it to wave 10 in a pickup group. I think the most I've ever made it is like wave 7 or 8 tops, and even then it gets very, very difficult. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and give this a run here and check it out, but I do highly recommend using this console. And just in case anyone's interested, I will show all my traits that I'm using. I am using Intel Strategist build. Here are my ship traits and personal traits, just in case anyone, you can see the bridge officer abilities I'm using as well. All right, so let's queue up for this event. Yeah, and let's see how we do. You never know what you get in a pickup group, but should be fun. Now, you are going to, like I said, you want to get as many weekend vouchers as possible, and this is an account-wide unlock, which is very nice. You can actually, yep, once it's unlocked, you'll see the cost go down to 0, and then you can reclaim it on all your other characters. Just very, very handy. I really like how Cryptic has implemented the weekend event store. It's great. I mean, you only have to do it 3 times. It's not a grind. It's
welcome to the Gamma
very quick queue.
Facility. Today, you'll be running through a modified version of a legendary Starfleet training scenario, the Kobayashi Maru. In this exercise, you must protect the Kobayashi Maru as long as possible. You'll want
okay, yes, protect it as long as possible. So let's see what we got here. Oh, we got an Arsene, cool. Got a D-Deridex and a Temporal. Is that the Paladin? I'm not sure if that's the Paladin or not. I don't recall exactly.
This is the Kobayashi Maru. 19 crews out of all Tier 6. We have struck a gravitic mine and have lost all power. Our hull is penetrated and we have sustained many casualties.
He's lying. He's not lost all power. You'll see. He flies around. He flies around and likes to fly right into combat. And get himself killed. So you got to keep an eye on him. You know, as far as tips go, just make sure you follow him around and make sure he's not wandering off into a new enemy spawn and getting destroyed. It's very easy to get distracted by one of the other spawns and losing track of him, and then next thing you know, he's dead. You can see his health over here on the.
It's not over yet. The next wave is
the mission queue. So. We got some cubes here. So here is the clicky for the 2-piece. I'm probably going to wait until wave 5 to use it. You can see my power levels are nicely topped off. I'm also running Supremacy, so that keeps my power levels quite high as well. Jemadar this time around, okay. See, he is taking some damage here. He control aggro like freaking crazy too, man. I don't know what it is. He's just an enemy magnet. So I'm just waiting. You'll see his hull go down. Once his hull gets, if it ever gets below like 50%, I will pop my Protomatter ability there. You will see some of those biomole torpedoes come out every now and then that you can intercept. A Doomsday Machine, what the? He is taking damage. So pretty soon here I might have to pop the heal. But yeah, if you ever want to make it into higher waves, you will need to have multiple players on the team with that Protomatter heal, because he takes so much damage.
Heads up! Another wave is coming your way.
So this is the 5th wave. I believe the gauntlet is the next wave.
The vengeance affix is active.
Still pretty close here at that one, right? Yeah, so this is an Alachi wave. Yep, I have seen people also use the biomolecular shield on him. Does seem to work pretty decently well. Where's he
Not
at?
over yet. Enemy assault incoming. Survive the onslaught.
Oh, Iconians, this will be fun. Holy freaking crap, this is gonna suck real hard. Alright, let's use all our cooldowns here.
Kobayashi Maru's health is at 50%.
Yes, it is. I'm now healing him. See, his health is going up really well here. Let's go ahead and pop our cooldown for our prolonged engagement phasers here. Let's see what our weapon power is at. 145. I can't move, and I'm dead. Holy freaking crap, Iconians are such a pain in the butt. Okay, he's still alive for by some miracle. I don't know how he is living.
Heads up! Another wave is coming your way.
Well, we survived the gauntlet. That is pretty good. So you can see he's quite hurt again. Got some Romulans coming in here. Some Mogai. I don't know if my heal is going to come off cooldown fast enough to help him. Let's get rid of that torpedo. Some warheads. Okay, good. People are taking out the warheads.
The next wave is incoming.
25 seconds left on the heal. Come on, Kobayashi Maru, you can live. You can do it. Getting fire. Let's see if we can get aggro. It's up, let's heal him. So you can see it's a very, very effective heal on him. Almost got him all the way back up to 100%. If you try healing him with just like engineering team or hazard emitters or anything, it barely heals him at all. I mean, you can still do it to help a little bit, but...
It's not over yet. The next wave is coming.
Wave 9. This is actually really, really good for a pickup group.
The volatile core
Usually he'll die before my second refresh on the Protomatter heal. Let's go ahead and use this cooldown. Let's see what my weapons power is at. 129, not bad. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty decent little console set there.
Get ready for another wave.
I would say, especially for new players, just, you know,
The technical difficulty
off.
of
This
this
is-
is active.
okay, let's see. I'm gonna go over this way because he... Yes, put on some reverse shield clarity. Where are you going, Kobayashi Maru? He's over this way. All the aggro off from here. Oh, what's it in?
Kobayashi Maru's health is at 50%.
Yes, I see that.
The Kobayashi Maru's health is at 25%.
Oh my god,
Kobayashi
no,
Maru's
no,
health is at
Kobayashi
10%.
Maru, no. He's dead. And I'm dead. Well, so there we go. What did we get? That was wave 10. Okay, so that's actually pretty good for a pickup group. I'm pretty happy with that run. Yep, and the Protomatter just came off cooldown, so that's a little unfortunate. But yeah, if you run a pre-made group with everyone
All right,
running that,
everyone. This
everyone running this console, you can, you know, pretty much heal them up decently well as long as you're all alternating and, you know, alternating your cooldown there. Alright, so you do get your choice of marks, which is pretty nice. I believe I need Nukara marks. Let's go ahead and get some of them. Gives you 50, so that's not too bad. You get your choice of marks, you know. A lot of people would probably want to use it for the competitive marks. That's a lot of people like to, that's one of the harder marks to get. But yeah, that is the event, guys. You can see that I did get a... I did get event voucher, because I haven't gotten it yet today. So there you go. Now I've got back to 3 event vouchers, because I've been saving up from previous events. If you actually run this, you know, the weekend event as much as possible, you can get 4 event vouchers, you know, each time the event comes around. And you only need to spend 3 to actually unlock the event item. So you can actually build up a surplus over time, which is why I was able to purchase the console now before actually completing the event. So it's something you can do. Just stock them up and save them for later. It's always handy. And the other thing that's nice is you can actually transfer these across characters. Most vouchers are bound to character, but this weekend of vouchers are actually bound to account. So you can put them in your bank. You could actually run the event on any character you want. So yeah, like I said, I really like how Cryptic have implemented the weekend event system. It'd be really nice if all of the events worked along those same lines. But unfortunately, it's not quite the case. All right, but so yeah, that is the event, guys. It's a pretty fun little fast queue. No big deal. It's not a grind at all. I would highly recommend completing it and you know, getting your vouchers. The prolonged engagement set seems decent. My only sort of complaint is how long it takes to stack up. But if it did stack up a little bit faster, this would be a really good replacement for a Plasmodic Leech, I think. Because the clicky is nice, the 2-piece set bonus is nice, and a lot of people run the prolonged engagement phasers anyway because they're such a great weapon. So there you go. It's definitely another option you can consider in your build. Alright, so I think that pretty much covers Kobayashi Maru this time around. Let's go ahead and take a look at the other new queue that we got, which is the Gorn... Well, now it's the Romulan Imperial Minefield. I don't see, it's not here listed as an event or anything, so we'll just pull up our queue list. And here we go. Now, from my understanding is that this is more of a leveling queue. As you can see, it actually goes from level 10 to level 60. So you can actually do this queue as you're leveling a character. So if you started up a new Delta recruit, you know, give this queue a try. It's probably quite active right now since it was just recently revamped, and now that it's cross-faction, it will fill up quite a bit faster, so that's nice, particularly for you if you made a KDF character. But it does reward dilithium. I believe it also gives a nominal amount of fleet marks, and you can get, you know, gear drops from it as well. So yeah, I would say definitely worth running as you're leveling up your character. Let's go ahead and queue up. It does only have a normal mode. So yeah, only a normal mode, so it's going to be a little bit of an overkill here on if you have your character fully decked out in epics, in an endgame build, you're probably going to obliterate this queue. It's not really meant for an endgame player, but more for leveling. But it does reward a nice amount of dilithium, so if you're just looking for a quick queue to run to get some dilithium, I would recommend you know, doing this one. It is actually a pretty nice little revamp. I'd have to say one thing I like about this queue, I keep bringing up the events, but it's not there. But one thing I like about this queue is the fact that there's no time gating here, so you can actually complete it quite quickly. And it's actually kind of fun. I mean, it's just a simple 3-step queue with a little bit of escalation to an enemy boss fight, and it works well. It's a nice, simple, refreshing queue with no time gating, which is pretty much my criteria for loving or hating a queue. If it has a time gate, then I hate it. If it doesn't, then I typically love it. So, yeah, while we're waiting in queue here, we might as well read through it here. So, the Romulan Star Empire, in a desperate need of resources in the wake of the destruction of their homeworld, some of their military groups have established cantonments in remote systems where they will take control of local resources. We found an asteroid mining facility. Oh, let's go ahead and go in. So this is, I guess since this is a lower level queue, it's kind of meant to be earlier in the storyline where you're still kind of at war with the KDF. And, oh, yeah, that's right. We have some Nog voice acting. Sounds very quiet.
Constructing more warbirds. We need to rescue the transport ships by breaking through the Romulan forces, destroying their minefields, and liberating the processing centers.
Okay. So that's kind of cool. They did put the Nog voice acting in there, and so what do we got here? Ooh, we got a Galaxy class. Ooh, and we got the frickin', I don't even know what that thing's called, but it's the Klingon version of the Enterprise J. So I'm sure these people can handle this one. So you can see the map here. There's actually sort of a spread out little asteroid field here, and each asteroid has a little spawn of Romulans protecting it. And that's all you have to do is take out the Romulans protecting it, and then you rescue the freighter and they will warp out, and there you go. Head on to the next minefield and just kind of clear them out as fast as you can. You can see there's a little counter here you have to complete. You have to defeat 20 of the Romulan frigates, and so basically, and rescue 10 of the freighters. So you have to, as a team, go around and go around to 10 different asteroids, free the freighter, let them warp out, and there you go. If your team spreads out, you can usually complete this part very quickly. Not too bad. You know, it is a normal queue, like I said, so it's a little bit overkill with the build I've got here. And let's go ahead and head down here. Although this guy's probably got this. Head over to this one here. Now I believe it does level sync you down if you know, if the team that you're in is a lower level team. I'm curious what mark level. Yeah, mark level 5. That's pretty funny. Yeah, it does have me synced down to level 39 right now. So it definitely is more of a, you know, lower level queue, good for leveling up, not really an endgame type activity. So we got our 10. What do we need to defleet? Some more Romulans here? Okay, there we go.
The job isn't over yet. The enemy has disabled nearby mining facilities. Each facility will need several repairs to restore complete functionality.
Yep. So for this one, you got to go to these Alpha, Beta, and Gamma bases and take out the ships there. Once you take out the ships there, you can just you have to get into range, and then yeah, and then you will be able to repair the facility. And you just rinse and repeat for the other 2. You do have to do it a few times, I believe. Yeah, 3 times each. And I do have someone helping me here, so that's cool. In that case, we will head over.
Facility Beta is safe.
I'll just pass on all these, because if there's some lower level people here, I'm sure they could use them more than me. Although it is still nice for salvage, but yeah, they're lower mark items. Might as well let these people make use of them. So yeah, I think for lower level players, it might seem impressive to have this level of a build, but it's pretty much a pretty standard end game build once you get up to level 60. It's not a big deal. I'm certainly not a huge end game player. If you've seen any of my build videos, you know most of my builds mostly get up to maybe 100k DPS. Oh, and here is the final stage where you get to take on a, is it a scimitar? Yeah, it's a scimitar. So you get to take on sort of a Romulan flagship. I was out of combat for a while, so this probably won't do much, but let's go ahead and focus Frenzy him as well. But there you go. You get to take out a an accolade. What an accolade this is. Choose away team? Why am I choosing an away team? That is odd. Is that, do they, I'm not sure what triggered that actually. But it is, see, this is the cool thing where if you do get, you know, if you do rank well in the queue, you can get a couple extra bonus pieces, which is cool. Certainly good for leveling up if you need a couple of you know, higher mark items to help your build. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty simple, straightforward, kind of 3-phase queue. Take out the Romulans guarding the asteroids. Take out the, you know, repair the 3 bases, and then take out the flagship. Is the Chimera here somewhere? Again, don't see it. But yeah, so that is the queue. It's you know, it's a good revamp. I'm glad they did it. It was actually pretty much a surprise. I was not expecting this really old queue to be revamped. But it's nice. It's a welcome change. And they even added in the Nog voice acting, and which is pretty cool. How much dilithium did we get from that? So you can see, so it actually gave 15 fleet marks. That 55 right there is for my daily bonus. I haven't claimed a daily fleet mark bonus on this character yet. So you do get some fleet marks, which is nice. But yeah, 792 dilithium. That's not bad. Especially if you're leveling up. I mean, that's a good chunk of a dilithium more to help you out. So I would say definitely run this queue if you're still leveling. Decent amount of XP, decent amount of ore, and a couple of fleet marks. Yeah, you know, pretty quick queue. It's fun. It's easy. Straightforward. You know, why not? So yeah, it seems like a nice revamp there. So I think that pretty much covers it. So yeah, that's the Kobayashi Maru event and the new Romulan Imperial Minefield queue. Yeah, very good. All right, guys. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I think that covers it. Enjoy the weekend event, and good luck farming up your marks. All right, bye for now.